All right, all right. It looks like we are live. A bit late, but live nonetheless. What is going on, Bree Hive? It is nice to see everyone in the live chat. Can't see everyone yet, but people are starting to pour in. Welcome in. How is your Thursday going? For those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bree, and here on this channel, we cover trademark lawsuits, copyright lawsuits, celebrity lawsuits, and really whatever the heck that we feel like covering. And today is one of those days that we are going to be covering whatever the heck we feel like covering. If you made it to the end of the live stream last, I was going to say last week, but if you made it to the end of the live stream on Tuesday, you know we talked about potential cases to talk about, and this was one of the ones that came up. So we are going to be jumping into Bryan Kohberger and where we're really at with this Idaho murder case. As some of you may know, he has a hearing coming up in about 2.5 months about what the state's position is and what his defense is. Is he going to be entering a guilty plea, a not guilty plea? Not contested? We don't know what the heck he's gonna enter. We're gonna figure that out in June. But I did want to go ahead and kind of backtrack into this case because we haven't covered it in a while. And we would like to know, or at least I would like to know, and I figure the community would also like to know, what is actually going on in this case. For those of you who do not know what's going on with this case or know what this case is and are just here for the vibes, we are going to be talking about murder today. Hopefully, we don't get too many red flags from YouTube today, because I don't know how to avoid words when they're on my mind. So we're going to be talking about the unaliving of 4 Idaho students caused allegedly by Mr. Bryan Kohberger, who is currently in jail awaiting his preliminary hearing. And then from there, probably will be awaiting trial as long as he does not plead not or guilty and avoid the trial altogether. Seems like he's gonna fight it. I feel like he's gonna fight it. Go ahead and drop in the chat if you think he's gonna fight it. I'll probably put a poll up sometime throughout this stream to see what the chat is thinking. If you don't want to put your opinion in the chat and be judged, even though this is a no judge community, feel free to drop your opinion in the chat, but we will also do a poll later. Again, go ahead and drop in the chat how everyone is doing. If you're watching on the replay, drop in the comment section how your week has gone. And if you haven't already, please do hit the like button. We have a goal of hitting 100 likes a live stream, and let's see where we are at. We're at 15 likes with 30 live viewers, guys. So if you have not hit the like button yet, please do so. It helps us out in the algorithm, helps us gain more friends. We are on the road to 50K subscribers this year, and we're only at 12,000. So we have about 37,000 to go. So let's hit the like button. Let's get more friends. I'm happy that all of you are here. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say hello to the live chat. And also, guys, hello, even if you're watching on the replay. I do see your comments. I'm trying to get better at responding to the after stream comments, but I definitely do see them. Okay, we got Lola Waterton saying, hope everyone is doing well tonight. Hello, Lola, a member of the channel. Welcome into the live stream. Lambe Bay says, hey, y'all. Hello, welcome into the live stream. Ashley Hempel, I thought I was late, but go me for being early. Yes, it was nice to see you here in the live stream. Another member of the channel. Lambe Bay is another member of the channel. It's saying, where's everybody at? Did I schedule the stream for the wrong time? It was supposed to start at it's supposed to start at 6:30, but did I put the wrong time? Darth Sarah says, tuning in from Australia. It's Good Friday and the country has the day off, so I'm gaming and watching YouTube lives. Well, welcome in. We are happy to have you here. Happy that it's already Friday for you. We are still working on that over here. Lambe Bay says, welcome to Darth Sarah. Tanya D, another member and our moderator of the channel, saying happy Friday Eve, everyone. Yes, Friday Eve, everyone, but already Friday for Darth Sarah. Nice to see you here, Tanya D. Lambe Bay says, don't forget to do the YouTube things, like and subscribe. Yes, of course, guys, if you are not already subscribed and you're just lurking in the background, please do so. Subscribe, because we have goals. We have goals that we are trying to meet by the end of this year. All right, let's see. Parallel Jen says hello to everyone. Chantel, hello, welcome in. Ashley Hempel says, I'm so tired, hoping you keep me awake for a while longer. Well, I got a lot of information for us. I have a little timeline going. I will be honest, I'm not as prepared as I wanted to be. I wanted to have like everything on that paper, but we have a pretty good list going, about 8 pages long for us to get through. I wanted to go through the search warrant as well, but that is like 50 pages in itself. So I will probably have to do a different stream for the actual search warrant, but we will be talking about some of the contents that was in the search warrant. I haven't had an opportunity to look at it yet. I'm just going off of articles at this point because it's a lot. It's a lot. We let a lot pile up. So we're going to check it out. Lambe Bay saying hey to everyone. Cheryl Reed says, hey, everyone. Happy Thursday. Hello. Welcome into the live stream. Chasey says, hello. Hi. Hello, Amika fan, another member of the channel. Hello, Swanky says, so slides in on the slick, hoping no one notices I'm late. One finger up as I tiptoe to my seat. Nope, we noticed. I read the comments. So if people didn't notice, they notice now, because they're gonna call you out. Welcome back into the chat. Hello, Swanky. Nice to see you. Elise Lynch. Hello, welcome back. Another member of the channel, y'all. We got members on members on members in the Bree Hive. I definitely appreciate all the support. And I look forward to seeing all of you. I think like 96 members on the membership stream coming up here. I'm going to post the vote this weekend, y'all. I've been busy at work. Tanya D says, just finished watching the ads. Only for you, Brie. Well, thank you. I appreciate it so much. But as a reminder, as far as the ads go, for the long ones, you only need to watch 30 seconds, but do 35 seconds to be safe. And then for the non-skippable ones, you can't skip it. So you have to watch the whole thing anyways. But thank you, Tanya D, for watching the ads for me. Mary Malarkey says, hello from Chicago. Bree, loved your professional, fair coverage of Markle versus Markle. Look forward to your coverage of the Idaho case. Well, thank you. Welcome in. We are happy to have you here. That was a fun stream last on Thursday. So I'm happy you came back for more. I mean, it was Tuesday. Sorry. On Tuesday, it was a good stream. So I'm happy you came back for more. Lambe Bay says, yeah, he's definitely going to fight this. He seems like he would fight it. I'm gonna put my poll up. I'm gonna say, do you think he's gonna fight it? And then the next one is, do you think he's innocent? Is Bryan Kohberger innocent in the Idaho murders? I feel like there's a lot of evidence pointing against him. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead and tip not watching. Alice Monkey says, yeah, it was the ads. The ads is why I'm late. Internet traffic these days. Love it. Love the internet traffic. That's sneaking in. Everyone's going to call you out when you point yourself out. Mary Malaki says, hello from Chicago. Oh, I already got that one. Yes, welcome in, Mary. Dark Sarah says he's fighting it for sure. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a lot of the same answers, that we think he's gonna fight it. Even pushing the preliminary hearing out till June is letting me know that he's going to fight it, and he's probably going to delay the trial as well. Vicky Grabon says, tuning in from Florida. Hello, welcome in. Late night for you. Tanya D's. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Pretend it wasn't you. All right, let's see. Rob's stream from Friday. Yeah. Did you guys catch up on that? Because I was on Rob from Law and Lumber's stream on Friday. That was a good time. We had some good coverage over there with Ian and Rob. So check it out if you have not already. And word, another member of the channel saying hello from Miami. We got another person from Florida. Late nights for y'all, right? Nicole Christine says, hey, Bree, happy to catch you live. Hello, and happy to have you here live. We are going to get into the craziness while I have my OG subscribers with the craziness in the chat. Francis Gwen says, happy Friday Eve. Hello, welcome in. Happy Friday Eve to you as well. And Elise Lynch says, don't know enough about the case to guess either way yet. And word puts 2. Okay, so let me go ahead and put up a poll for those of you that do know what's going on with the case. Don't worry if you don't know, that's fine too. We're going to cover a lot of it. Let's see here. We're going to go through as much of the timeline as possible. This guy, I don't know how he's going to argue it with the DNA evidence. I mean, he can argue that he was in their house, but why is he like bleeding in their house? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. It's Bryan Kohberger, and his initial are BK, like Burger King. Kohberger. Let's see, going to fight the charges. Typing with the mic in between my hands. So, all right. Yes, he's innocent. Should I put not enough evidence? No. Too much evidence. He's not going to fight the charges because there's too much evidence. And I don't know. Not rich people problems tonight, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's see. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Oh, enough letters for us. I don't know. Let's wait and see. All right. So we have is Bryan Kohberger going to fight the charges? Yes, he's innocent. No, too much evidence. And lastly, I don't know. Let's wait and see. We're going to ask the community. If you're watching live, go ahead and vote in the poll. Does the poll play on the replay? I don't think so, huh? But if you are watching on the replay, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. For those of you just walking into this, if you have not already, please do hit the like button. We are on the road to 100 likes this live stream. Let's see where we are at right now. We are currently at 33 likes with 44 people watching. So if you have not hit the like button, please do. It definitely helps us out in the algorithm. We're on the road to 100 likes. All right. Let's see where we're at. I am going to go ahead and jump into the timeline. As a reminder, for those of you that do not remember the case, or if you just kind of forgot or want a quick reminder, this is the case in Idaho where a graduate student is being accused of murdering 4 college students in their own home in the dark of the night, in the middle of the night, really. We did cover the arrest affidavit or the probable cause affidavit on this channel. So if you have not seen that video, please go back and watch to catch up on everything that was in the affidavit, since we won't be covering it here. And now he had a hearing back in January, and he asked for his preliminary hearing to be in June, on June 26th, to let us know whether he's going to be entering a guilty plea, a not guilty plea. And the prosecution will basically be presenting their case to let us know these are the reasons why we think he is the one that did this crime. So let's jump right into it. We are going to go ahead and do the things that I did not prep for, which includes sharing the screen. So let's get that together first before I give you all this, information that I know we're all dying to get to. All right, let's go, guys. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do help us out in the algae. Do people call it the algae? Probably not. That doesn't sound that cool. But the algorithm. Let's go. All right. So we have a little timeline spelled out, a brief little bloop about what is going on. On the afternoon of November 13th, Madison Mogan, 21, Kaylee Goncalves, 21, Zaina Kernodle, 20, and Ethan Chapin, 20, were all stabbed to death in bedrooms on the second and third floor of a home in Moscow, Idaho. More than a month after the stabbing took place, suspect Bryan Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania in connection with the murders, the same day as the memorial was scheduled for the best friends Mogan and Goncalves. All right, so it doesn't even start. As you see, the stabbings happened last year in November, so we are only, 5, almost 6 months away from what happened. But that's not where it started for him. And that's why I'm like, is he going to try to fight this? Like, if you are going to try to fight this, why? Because evidence against him, like I said, goes all the way back to August and maybe even before that. But as far as the timelines that I can dig up in my time, we're starting in August 2022. Again, remember the murders happened in November 2022. So, and for those of you who do not know about Bryan Kohberger, he's actually a criminology major and actually applied to work for the police department as well to help them solve crimes with technology more efficiently. Which it sounds like was this, if it was him, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Was this kind of like an experiment to show that the police do not know how to track killers using technology? If it was an experiment, he did not do a good job because he got caught a month and a half later, right? Okay, let's see. And remember, guys, he has not been proven guilty yet. So all of these facts are everything in here are just allegations, have not been proven to be fact. So I'll put that disclaimer in the beginning, but sometimes it's hard to, give people the benefit of the doubt, but I will put that disclaimer in the beginning. And so let me go ahead and make my little ticker. I didn't do it last live stream. So we are covering Bryan Kohberger. Sorry, y'all, I'm typing away this live stream. And the Idaho murder timeline. We are going to go into the timeline, and then we'll probably have another stream going through the warrant. Okay, let's see where we are at. Let's jump right into this. We're not gonna, waste your time talking. Here we go. Okay, so on August 21st, I don't like that screen. Okay, on August 21st, 2022, Bryan Kohberger's cell phone was in the vicinity of the home where the unalivings took place. According to the probable cause affidavit released in January 2023, Kohberger's cell phone pinged in the area of the 1122 King Road home where the unalivings took place on at least 12 occasions prior to November 13, 2022. So, the thing about Bryan Kohberger is that he went to the school, and forgive me because I cannot remember the exact schools that each of them or that the four went to and that he went to, but he went to the school that was about 10-15 minutes away, right? But his phone is being pinged near the residence, near where they live, even though he doesn't go to the school that they go to. And the drive is still, I believe, even across state lines, even though it's about 15 minutes away. His phone was around the house 12 times within, 3 months? 12 times within 3 months. His phone is hanging around their house, and they're not friends. Okay. All of these occasions except one occurred in the late evening and early morning. Sound like stalker hours, but we are going to give them the benefit of the doubt, of course. On August 21st, 2022, Kohberger's cell phone was in the vicinity of the home from approximately 10:30 p.m. to 11:35 p.m. At 11:37 p.m., Kohberger was stopped by a Latah County Sheriff deputy while driving a white Hyundai Elantra. The affidavit alleges the same vehicle was taken from Kohberger's parents' home on the day of his arrest. So, for those of you that were listening to the case early on, they were looking for a white Elantra that he drove, and apparently there was a Facebook account that was saying, what was it called, Papa Rogers or something like that, telling them, oh, the red Elantra is a red herring. And some people think that account, Papa Rogers, was actually Bryan Kohberger. So let me know, have you guys heard about the Papa Rogers account or no? Like, what do you think? All right. And so let's see. He was around the house 12 occasions, but starting on August 21st, which seems to be the first occasion, he was hanging around the place for an hour and then was pulled over by the police. Was he reported for hanging around the place? What was he pulled over for? Definitely want to look more into that. So I want to take a little note. I'm going to put a little star here. What's going on? Did I lose connection? It looked like it was loading. I hope I didn't lose y'all there. Oh, it won't let me make a note because I'm not in the Word document anymore. I'm on a PDF. So let me actually highlight so I can remember I want to look into this a little bit more. All right. Let's see. What was here? Bad highlighting, but we got it done, right? Okay, let's see. In late October 2022, Bryan Kohberger messaged one of the victims on Instagram. This was something that was discovered in the search warrant. My boy, Bryan Kohberger, is sliding in DMs, trying to talk to one of the victims. They have not released who the victim was yet. So let's jump into it. In January 2023, an investigator familiar with the case told People, I use People's timeline. So if you see People here and there, they're talking about like the little magazine, new, what would you call them? News source People. That's what it's talking about because that's what I use for my timeline, basis of my timeline. Okay. In January 2023, an investigator familiar with the case told People that Kohberger sent a series of messages to one of the victims on Instagram. So not just one message, he sent multiple. In late October, an account that authorities believe belonged to Bryan Kohberger sent a greeting to one of the female victims. The source said when he didn't get a reply, he sent several more messages. Like, let's not do that, okay? He slid into one of the girl's DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source told. Basically, it was just him saying, "Hey, how are you?" But he did it again and again. Authorities have not said if the victims knew Kohberger, but the suspect now deleted Instagram account which followed the accounts of Mogan, Goncalves, and Carnoodle. So all the girls that were victims in this crime, he followed all of them. Does not look like he followed the male. They did not mention whether he followed the two other ones, the two other roommates that were not a victim to the case, that survived the case or survived the unalivings. According to a former employee at Mad Greek restaurant in Moscow, Idaho, Kohberger ate at the restaurant where two of the victims, Mogan and Carnoodle, worked as servers. So we're getting more things tied to him. There's a lot of things that are getting tied to him. So yes, of course, we want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but you go to a school near them. Your car is caught lurking around their neighborhood in August. You eat at the restaurant where two of the girls work. And let's see what else you got going on here. You follow them on Instagram and you even try to slide in their DMs. Please let me know if you guys are having trouble on YouTube because on my end, it is showing that the stream is loading. So let me know if you guys are catching glitches or maybe it's just my internet catching a glitch because I'm watching myself and streaming at the same time. Okay, let me see what the people in the chat are saying. Let's see. We got a lot to get through, but we will go ahead and see what the chat is saying. Of course, hello Swanky, reminding friends, if you would like to become a member of the channel, please do hit the join button. It gives you cool emojis, cool badges next to your name. You get to support the stream and you even get to come onto the live stream once a month. So thank you, Hello Swanky, for reminding us about becoming members of the channel. Tanya D says, I call it the algorithm. Don't know exactly what you're referring to there. Mary Malarkey says, Bree, go to Twitter and let everyone know that you're live. Oh, I never really do that, but maybe I need to do that. Cheryl Reed says alleged. Yep, this is alleged. All of this is alleged. Elise Lynch says lots of killers get into legal education to learn and to be, or law enforcement, to learn and to be in control and for the fun of being cute wolf in sheep's clothing, getting one over on law enforcement. I am not surprised about that. I feel like that comes up quite a lot, to tell you the truth. So I agree with you, Elise. And on top of that, he's like applying for the law enforcement and taking criminology and saying he wants to help them with technology as if he thinks they're bad at using technology. Ashley Hempel says to Ann Ward, agree, but I'm trying to keep an open mind. It's just not easy here. Yeah, there's so much stuff going against him, so I definitely feel you on that. Jane Wright says, I see what you did there to Tanya D. Tanya D says, agree with Mary at Hella Swanky. It was good, much more relaxed than, oh, you guys are talking. It's just, oh yeah, you guys watch the stream. I don't want to put y'all whole conversation on blast. Hello, Cheryl C. Welcome into the live stream. Tanya D says to Jane Wright, I heard it once years ago and have been saying it ever since. Jane Wright, I missed the saying. I'm gonna have to find it. Jane Wright says, wasn't there some allegations of people getting drugs somewhere there? Could he not just say that's what he was there for? I'm not all the way familiar with that theory, but he could say that. It doesn't really say what he was pulled over for. Let's see. Mary Malarkey says, watched you on Rob's Friday Night Frenzy. You two work well together. Rob is more relaxed with you versus with Runkle. I just let people do their thing. So thank you for that. Cheryl C says, I'm on 1.75 speed catching up. Be there soon. Well, hope to see you right live with us, but we're happy you're watching from the beginning because there's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. Melissa Slammer says, I went to school at U of Idaho. They did Mundane stops a lot. It almost seems like he was stopped. That's what I was going to say that I lost my train of thought, but I was going to save it for later in the stream. I may just repeat myself. But let me finish your chat. It could have been as simple as rolling through a stop sign. Yes, I agree with you there. It seems like he got pulled over a lot. But one thing that I did notice, which this is what I was going to say that I was going to say later, it almost seems like when people commit crimes as heinous as unaliving people, they always get pulled over. And when they should get caught, they never get caught. And I'm saying this like as a general saying because I watch a lot of true crime. And it seems like almost every criminal that commits unaliving gets pulled over like in the process of the crime, in the process of the escape, with the body in the car. They're like always getting pulled over, but somehow they still go free for like years and years. Bryan, not as lucky here, but like just think of Jeffrey Dahmer. He got pulled over with a body in his car. He got one of his victims ran out of the house and he just lied and said it was his boyfriend. It seems like it continuously happens. Could just be me, but I feel like there's a lot of murder suspects and guilty murderers that do that. Let me know if you guys have seen that trend. All right, let's see. Lisa Lynch says, I hate guys that do that to me. Sliding in the DM multiple times. A little creepy, right? That is creepy. Yes, I agree, Tanya D. Mary says, Tanya, Rob, and E are more like brothers, Rob being the oldest. Love to see all the peeps' relations continue to grow since Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Yes, I think a lot of people did become very acquainted during that trial. But yeah, it's always fun. Like I said, I haven't been on one bad stream yet. Everyone's always good vibes for all the streams that I've been on. Diamond and Henna said, good here. Hello, welcome in. Cameldy says the stream is fine. Okay, I did ask that. Yeah, it keeps like loading on my back end in YouTube Studio, so I don't know what's going on there. But we're all good here. Ashley Hempel says, I'm not having any problems with the stream. Okay. Everybody says no problems. Thank you, everyone that answered my question. I get so behind in chats that I forget that I asked the question. But I guess I just kind of assume since no one's really dropping off, then you guys must all still be here. Okay. Kate Lewis says visual speech is a little off from the audio. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it fixes soon. I do have it on a slower latency so that closed caption can pop up. So hopefully the mouth gets back on track with the audio for you. Hello, Soki says Tanya D. Oh, nice. Looking forward to it. Did you watch the whole stream just after Bree came on? It's all good. It's all good if you just watch me. I'm sure Rob won't mind. Jane Wright says, very, very recent subscriber. It notified me. Well, awesome. Welcome into the Bree Hive. Nice to have new subscribers here. We are happy you're here. Hedgehog in Space says, I've been a replay crew for a long while. Glad to catch a live. Well, hello. Welcome into the live stream. We are happy to have you here. It's always fun to be in the live stream. Get your chat read. I told you guys earlier, I am working on responding to my comments a lot more. I haven't. I read them and then I just don't respond, which is bad. I need to respond, but I get like overwhelmed and then I just log off of YouTube. So that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to talk about anxiety on the live stream today, especially dealing with this case. Okay, y'all, I'm behind in the chat by like 4 minutes. So I'm gonna catch it back up and we are gonna jump back into I'm going to catch some of the later comments and then we're going to jump back into the timeline. We are only on November 13th, which is when it actually happened. Nicole Christine says, yes, why do they always get pulled over and never get caught? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. And so even when he was driving home with his dad, he got pulled over twice while they're looking for this suspect in the car that he's driving. Rosa says, I got pulled over a ton in college. I bet it's a college town thing. Yeah, that's true. But he also got pulled over driving to Pennsylvania. So I don't know. Maybe he just drives bad. Hello, Essie. Welcome into the live stream. Nice to see you here. Nicole Christine says, it's because they tend to be manipulative and persuasive, I think, as far as getting pulled over. Kimmy Locker says the poor teenage victim that the cop turned to Dahmer, the racism, the homophobia that enabled his crimes is infuriating. I agree with you there. I watched that whole series. It made me so mad. I realized that I used to confuse Jeffrey Dahmer and Ted Bundy. They're two completely different people doing the same thing, but two different groups of people. But yeah, I watched that whole thing and I can't believe that he got away with so much. He was almost caught so many times. It's crazy. Let's see. So effed up. Yes, so effed up. I agree. Kate Lewis says it's all good, doesn't matter. Melissa Simic says always appreciate your positivity. Thank you very much. I know we're covering a hard case and I'm just like smiling from ear to ear, but we got to get through it positively, right? Kimmy Lockett says, my incredible sister happened to be deaf, so just got to say how much I appreciate and respect your use of captions, Boss Attorney Bree. I wish way more streamers followed your lead. Well, thank you very much. The only thing is that it delays it, I would say probably by 30 seconds to a minute, but that's okay because I'm always late in the chat anyway. So no problem. I've been doing good with turning it on, and I'm glad that it helps the people that it needs to help. Let's see. Jane says to Kimmy, it makes you wonder how many weren't caught before the stuff like that. Yeah, it does. It definitely makes you wonder. And the thing is, he died before we could really ask him questions. So did it really start around that time or did it start like way before that time? And we're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer there, but we're going to jump back into the chat. Y'all, we are at 50 likes. We are halfway to the 100 like goal for the stream. So if you have not already, please do hit the like button. We do have 58 people watching live. Remember, we are trying to make friends in the algorithm or with the algorithm, right? Okay, let's jump back into the timeline. Right, we're in the timeline. Okay, on November 13th, 4 students from the University of Idaho are unalived. On Sunday, November 13th, 2022, Chapin, Mogan, Kernodle, and Goncalves were found stabbed to death in an off-campus apartment from an apparent knife attack near the University of Idaho. According to the probable cause affidavit, authorities believe the killings took place between 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. Remember, guys, this is one person. This is one person doing this, and he unalived 4 people within, I think even in the probable cause affidavit, the window was even smaller than this. But within 25 minutes, that's a very exhausting, I don't want to call it an activity, but exhausting movements to be doing to 4 different people. But he did it in 25 minutes. Authorities confirmed that 2 additional roommates were home during the attack, but slept through it and were unharmed. They didn't sleep all the way through it, but okay, we'll go with that. November 17th, The students' deaths are ruled as a homicide. It's always crazy to think what you were doing on certain days. Don't remember what I was doing on the 13th, but I do know on the 17th, I was on my way to a Carnival cruise, which is crazy because these families were going through something so hard and I was on my way to a cruise. And every time I think of stuff like that, I just feel so bad, right? They were ruled as homicides several days after the unalivings took place. An Idaho coroner revealed the 4 victims were stabbed to death and their deaths were officially ruled homicides. I don't know what else you could have ruled that, but I'm glad they came to that conclusion. Latah County Coroner Catherine Mebut told NBC News that authorities suspect a large knife was used. It would have had to have been not a pocket knife, she said. It would have been bigger than a bigger knife. But also told the outlet that her words were pretty extensive, or their wounds were pretty extensive, and the crime scene was unlike anything she had ever experienced before. If you've been keeping up with the case, you know that people are saying, or not people are saying, but that it was a very, very bloody scene that I would not like to see. And so sad. All right. In November 2022, they made rumors that there was a possible stalker of Kaylee. So investigators looked extensively at information received from one of the victims, received about one of the victims, Kaylee Goncalves, having a stalker. They have not been able to verify or identify any stalker of Kaylee. But some people are thinking that maybe Bryan was a stalker of them. He's sliding in DMs, sending multiple messages. And not only is he sending multiple messages, but he allegedly liked, I can't remember which one, he liked all of their photos. And then the other one, he liked a lot of their photos. So could he have been the stalker that people were talking about? And I know at one point they were also referring to one of the girls' on again, off again boyfriend. I can't remember exactly which one and what the boyfriend's name was, saying that maybe he was responsible for it. But I don't think they're going to be able, or they were not able to jump to that conclusion there. Okay, let's see. They are talking about physical evidence on November 25th. To this date, the investigators collected 113 pieces of physical evidence and sent it to the Idaho State Police Crime Lab. Idaho Governor Brad Little has directed up to $1 million in funds for the ongoing investigation. They really want to catch this person because you cannot have that happening at a college full of young people just trying to have fun. Mind you, like these kids, these college students were out that night. They were out having fun. They were at parties and bars and, returning home, falling asleep, ordering food from Uber Eats, right? And then this guy comes into their house and stabs them. University of Idaho does not want that happening. No one wants that happening, right? No one wants that happening. Okay. Let's see. Cheryl C saying that is a very tight time window. Wow. And like I said, I think that the actual affidavit said the time window was a lot smaller than that. I feel like it was like a 10-minute time window, if I remember correctly. Nicole Christine says to Kimmy Locker, I couldn't make it through the Dahmer show. I had to stop. It's tough to watch for a lot of people. Cheryl Reed said that's so wild and no one heard anything. No, they did hear something. This is not fully my timeline. I pulled from different places, but one of the girls did wake up and one of the girls actually saw the suspect, which is Bryan Kohberger, right? So she actually saw him and he walked right past her. I guess he didn't see her, or maybe he was tired and he was done and he knew he needed to get away. He had been in the house too long. I don't know what it was, but one of the girls definitely woke up, heard it, reported this in the probable cause affidavit. And she poked her head out the door and actually saw Bryan Kohberger walking past her room and walking out of the door, right? Hello Swanky says, OMG, same. I was celebrating my birthday. Yeah, we were celebrating Alpha's birthday. That's how I remember that date distinctively, that we were on a plane that day getting on a cruise. Lata, I don't know what that means. Not Lata. Oh, I guess I must have missed the comment above, but welcome in. I'm saying it wrong. Oh, I'm saying the county wrong. Latah is what the county is. Latah County. Is that what you're saying, Amy Evans? Okay, thank you for that. I lived in Moscow. Am I saying that right? Because I feel like people corrected me on that because it looks like Moscow, um, Moscow, but I was told it's pronounced Moscow. So Moscow. I might be saying it wrong. Okay. Now I'm getting all self-conscious about it. Kimmy says to Nicole, understandable. It was awful. Couldn't get through the show. Cheryl Reed says, if not stalker, definitely a creep you don't want to respond to. Right. And the thing is, he's like, I mean, there's a such thing as age gaps, right? There's age gaps, but he's like 28 and they're like 20 and 21. Like, why are you messing with these girls? Let them live their life. You're like a grown man. Leave them alone. They're barely getting their lives started. If she doesn't want to respond to you, she didn't have to. Also, going back to trying to keep a neutral thought that he's not guilty. Trying. Okay. Hedgehog in space says Bree is getting YouTube famous. Eventually, she will have to only look for messages tagged with a B. Hey, at some point. Thank you guys. I definitely appreciate the support. Like I said on a bunch of streams, I love doing this, and I love that I actually have supporters that actually want to hear what I have to say and supporters that actually want to come on screen with me. So thank you. I don't know if I'll be YouTube famous, but I would like to grow the channel, but I want to make sure that reading the chats is still a part of what I do, and I'll try to read as many as possible. Tanya D says to Amy Evans, what are you referring to? I zoned out. Okay, yeah. Ashley Himbo says, besides watch Bree, what does one do on a 3-day weekend? It's my first in 27 years unless I was taking vacation. Wow, that is a long time not to have a 3-day weekend. Oh man, I would relax. I'm relaxing tomorrow. I don't have a 3-day weekend. Not tomorrow. I'm relaxing this weekend and cleaning. Been trying to clean piece by piece throughout the week. But I don't have a 3-day weekend, so I don't know what could be fun for you. Cheryl Reed says, you're right. I forgot about her, the girl that did hear the noise. Hella Swanky says she saw a man who matches his description, right? Did she positively ID him? I don't know if she positively ID'd him. If she's going to be called on the stand, I feel so bad for her to even have to go through that. They're probably going to say, oh, it was dark. How do you, the defense is going to say it was dark. How do you know it was him? She was able to clearly see his bushy eyebrows. And I said this on the stream where we looked at the affidavit. I was like, I don't understand how people ID people. They'll be like, what the person look like? I'll be like, I don't know. I can't see. I can't see. But she said he was 5'10", thinner build, not very muscular, and he had bushy eyebrows. He was that close, and maybe I'm imagining that it was close because I would need him to be close to see what kind of eyebrows that he had. But she said he had thick, bushy eyebrows. And it almost makes me wonder if they've seen that man lurking around their home before, i.e. from August 21st when he was just sitting around their house, allegedly, or at least in the area, and the other 12 times that he was over there. And remember, these college students, they would throw parties sometimes. Did he go to the party uninvited? Creepy 28-year-old trying to hang out with 21-year-olds, right? Who knows? Let's see. Amy Evans says she pronounced the county wrong. Latah. Am I still pronouncing it wrong? Latah? Is how it's said. All right, got it. I hope I fix it, but I don't know. I can't make any promises. Amy Hedgehog in Space says, in my opinion, the reason these killers keep skating through traffic stops is racism and sexism. Hey, I don't know, but yeah, that could be a possible reason. I don't know. Haven't thought about that yet. So let's see. Dark Sarah says to Hella Swinky, I don't believe so. She saw a man with bushy eyebrows wearing all black and a mask, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but he does have bushy eyebrows. So I don't know how many people in Idaho have bushy eyebrows like that, but could she positively ID him? I don't know. He was wearing all black. It was also dark in the house. Remember, it's 4:00 in the morning. I don't know if they made her positively ID him. But the fact that those eyebrows stood out to her is crazy to me. I would have missed all of that. I would have been frozen. I would not have known what to do. Like, why am I dreaming? There's a man walking through my house. Dark Sarah says she wasn't able to give a positive ID. That makes sense. Kimmy Locker says, whatever the heck your heart desires, that's way that's way too long to not have a 3-day weekend to enjoy. So yes, of course, enjoy, Ashley. Parallel Jen has become a new member. Thank you so much for supporting the stream and supporting the channel. You get cool little emojis, a cool little badge next to your name, and you are welcome to the member live stream that I will be taking a vote on the day this weekend. So thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the Bree Hive. I gotta get like a little sound. That's my next thing for the live stream, is to get like a little soundboard. So we're gonna have to get like a little sound when someone becomes a member. Some type of buzzing or music. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be something. We're gonna get a sound. Let's see. Absolutely do nothing, just chill, right? Disney Mom says, hello, sorry I'm late. That's okay. We are happy to have you. Nice to see you here tonight. Hello Swanky says, yeah, most people can see eyebrows from a good distance. Don't be coming at me, Hello Swanky. I don't appreciate that. I can't see eyebrows from a good distance. Those eyebrows probably, but in the dark, questionable. And if I don't have my glasses on, no. He would have been a floating figure for me. A complete floating figure. And Word says, or treat yourself to a mani-pedi for a full day. Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Give him a massage and all. Yes, giving some advice on how to treat the 3-day weekend. Yes, welcome to Parallel Jen. Thank you so much. How are you this evening? I am doing good. Keeping a smile on my face while going through this crazy case, sad case, but we're going to get through it as positively as possible. I'm happy to have you here. Let's see. And Ward, I feel like I can't say your last name, like Ward. I feel like I'm saying Word, but it should be Ward. I feel like I can't say it in the. It's just for those of you that don't know, this side of my jaw is like numb, so it's very hard for me to pronounce certain things. So I feel like I'm messing your name up right now, and it's really bothering me. If you have the means to do the fun things. Cheryl C says, in an effort to help you stay caught up on chat, I never expect a host to read my comment that are directed to another chat member unless the topic interests you. Of course, LOL, others may agree. Yes, the chat has already told me that, Cheryl C. It's just hard for me not to read them. One, because I'm nosy. Two, because it's hard for me to read and talk at the same time to see what people are talking about. So I definitely know it's something I need to work on. John dropping some emoji saying they're all wicked and framing him to hide the cartel testimony given. Are you trolling, John? Are you serious? I think that might be trolling. Because what are we talking about? Cartel testimony. I don't know. I'm gonna move on. Lisa's agreed to Cheryl, but I appreciate that Bree wants to include us. Hello Swanky agrees, right? Saying probably Reddit. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, John. I'm sorry. Okay, let me see. Mary says, Bree is very smart, professional, kind, and humble, and knows when to apply humor with the difficult cases. Reminds me a lot of Miss Emily D. Baker. You go, girl. If you guys are here last stream, I said she is a big motivation to me to start live streaming. So thank you that I can give you a little glimpse of her. She definitely, even without words, encouraged me to live stream. And it's been the best, the funnest thing that I have done with my law degree. Okay. It's going to court is cool, but it's not as fun. It's not as fun. Okay. Let's go ahead. I see as he's saying, girl, I get it. I'm nosy too. I get it. Yeah, I get it. All right, let's jump into it because I got a couple articles and I'm not even halfway through our timeline here. So let's go. We already talked about the city or the governor giving $1 million to figure this case out, which is good. They have the resources to figure it out. We don't want that happening to our young people, right? November 30th, A vigil is held for the victims at the University of Idaho on Wednesday, November 30, 2022. Loved ones and fellow students gathered at the University of Idaho to remember the 4 young students who were killed. On December 7, 2022, a potential clue arrived. Police announced they were interested in speaking with the driver of a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra spotted near the crime scene at the time of the murder. So we are finally looking for who we are looking for. Let's see here. Oh, I forgot to see. We are at 63 likes with 63 live viewers. So if you are new to the stream and have not hit the like button, go ahead and do so. It helps us out in the algorithm. Okay, let's jump into December 15th in the timeline. Bryan Kohberger heads to Pennsylvania to spend the holidays with family. In body camera footage released in January 2023, Kohberger was shown getting pulled over twice in one day while on a cross-country road trip from Washington to his home state in Pennsylvania in mid-December. I should have pulled the video of this, but I did not. Maybe I can find it at a different time. The footage showed Kohberger with a passenger as they stopped in Hancock County, Indiana on December 15th for following a vehicle too closely. Kohberger was driving a white Elantra and was released with a verbal warning. He was pulled over twice, and we finally got a reason why he was pulled over. Following too closely. What's his issue? He was trying to get home. He was trying to get home quickly, right? Let's see here. But he got off with a verbal warning. Should he have gotten a ticket? Because he got pulled over twice on that one route, right? December 18th, footage was released. Surveillance footage emerges of the victim, Kaylee Calvez and Madison Mogan, hours before the unalivings, walking through downtown discussing a man named Adam. Did the video have sound to let us know that they were talking about Adam? I haven't seen the video, so let me be quiet. Maybe they were talking about Adam. The search for the vehicle of interest. On December 20th, investigators spoke to an owner of a Hyundai Elantra located in Eugene, Oregon. The vehicle was involved in a collision and was impounded. The owner is believed to not have any connection with Moscow, Idaho. Between December 26th and 29th of 2022, reports of FBI involvement is reported that FBI team surveils Adam, the man who the 2 victims discussed the night they were murdered, for a few days. So FBI was following Adam around. Is Adam the boyfriend? I forgot who Adam was. Was Adam the boyfriend that they said the on and off again boyfriend? Can't remember. December 30th, 2022, Bryan Kohberger is arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder and 1 count of felony burglary. Why are they throwing burglary in there? Because if he is responsible for committing the murders, then he had planned it, which we are going in first-degree murder in this case, that he went in there with a knife intending to kill them. That is a burglary, is when you break and enter into a dwelling that is not of your own with an intent to commit a felony. First-degree murder is a felony. Oh, I remember this one law school exam in criminal law, or I don't think it was actually the exam. I think it was a practice test, or maybe it was the midterm, and I won't even go into it. But you don't think about, it was like statutory intercourse, right? And you're not thinking of it as a felony, but it is a felony. That's in my head now. But yeah, so going into the house with the intent to do the murders would count as a felony. Not necessarily that he's going to remove something from the house. He did not have to be there to steal something. I just wanted to make that clear. Any felony counts, right? During the press conference on Friday, December 30th, Moscow Police Chief James Fry confirmed that Bryan Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania in connection with the murders of Chapin, Kernodle, Mogan, and Goncalves. Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson, sounds like a fake name, but okay. Bill Thompson confirmed during the press conference that Kohberger was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary. Chapin's family later released a statement about the arrest, saying, "We are relieved this chapter is over because it provides a form of closure. However, it doesn't alter the outcome or alleviate pain. We miss Ethan and our family is forever changed." Kohberger, when he was arrested, was found in the kitchen area of his parents' home, dressed in shorts and a shirt, wearing latex medical type gloves, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies. Tell me this guy is not weird. For those of you that thinks he's not guilty, why do we think he's not guilty? I know the law is innocent until proven guilty, but putting his personal trash into individual Ziploc bags for what? What are you doing that for? Because remember, they did find trash at Bryan Kohberger's family's home with DNA that was connected to his father's son, meaning the DNA did not directly match his father, but it matched a male relative that is likely a son, 50% of his DNA. It matched his DNA. Kohberger is Bryan's dad's son. Bryan is Bryan's dad's son, right? If that makes sense. Okay, so there was already evidence found in Bryan's parents, which makes me a little bit confused because when did he have time to go home to Pennsylvania between the November and the December date? Oh, maybe Thanksgiving. But they found, evidence in his family's trash that matched Bryan. Oh, I have to look at the evidence a little bit more because maybe they found it after he went there in December. But anyways, they found DNA that matched Bryan Kohberger, or that will strongly suggest that it's going to match Bryan Kohberger once they get the DNA. So did he hear about that and start saying, hey, you know what? I can't throw my trash out, because it is not illegal for people, especially the police, to go through your trash. Once you take it out of your house, throw it on the curb, you're no longer seeing it as your possession. So they are free to go through it. And that's what the police did. And they found DNA for Bryan Kohberger. I repeated that like 27 times and I probably didn't need to, but we're done with it now. Okay, let's see what the poll says. Speaking of that, because it says, if you believe that he's not guilty, why is that? Let's see here. I'm going to go into the vote. It says, is Bryan Kohberger going to fight these charges? 8% said yes, he is innocent. We have some Bree members, and guys, we have 71 votes. That's more than the people watching live. So I feel like this is accurate for the people that have come in, right? 8% believes that he is innocent. 25% says no, there's too much evidence against him. And 66% says, I don't know, let's wait and see. There's so much evidence against him, but I do appreciate everyone following the United States rules that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. I'm trying to be unbiased here. But I'm leaning more towards guilty. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to know where they're going to have this trial, because I feel like a lot of people have heard about this, but it could just be because I'm in the legal community and a lot of us talk about it. And maybe more people outside of this do not know about this. I feel like it's going to be hard for him to have a fair trial, but maybe that's why he's going to fight it. And he's going to argue unfair trial, do an appeal, whatever he needs to do, right? All right, let's see what the chat is saying. Okay, we'll go ahead and end that poll. And then I think I combined my two questions into one. So I don't think I'm going to do another poll yet. Okay, so let's see where we are at. All right. We got OCD germaphobe to be putting stuff into Ziploc bags, maybe, or he knows that they have his DNA already. That's what I would go for. Amy Evans says, great job pronouncing both Moscow and lay tie. I'm trying to get it right. Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm trying hard. Cheryl Reed says getting rid of evidence, maybe. I'm leaning with Cheryl. I'm there with Cheryl. He doesn't want any more of his DNA coming out, especially finding out that they found his blood in the house. Yeah, I would be giving what I would not be not teaching people how to get away with stuff, but I could see why he's getting rid of evidence, right? Cheryl C says the Ziploc bags are weird. Right. Why Ziploc bags? But the gloves, I have boxes of gloves at home, mostly for cooking. But in the past few years, I'm using them more often for random things. I can agree with you on that because I have two sets of boxes of gloves in my house, and they are latex gloves because Alpha works in the medical field, so we get latex gloves, and I use them when I am touching like raw meat, when I don't want to touch them or have the residue on my hands. I use them for cleaning. I use them for several reasons, so I definitely understand the latex gloves part or the glove part in general, but I don't understand, why are we sorting your trash into Ziploc? Like, what are you going to use this for? Like, you're either really creepy or you're responsible for this crime, because you're lurking outside of people's houses, you're sliding in DMs, you're going to eat at their restaurant, you're putting your personal effects that are trash into Ziploc bags. Like, I don't know, it's a lot. Learning that your trash is free for all, maybe, I don't know. Hedgehog in Space says, to be honest, I have celiac and I'm kitchen lazy. I have absolutely used nitrile gloves to handle flour-based foods, raw meat when I wanted to be too lazy to clean my hands thoroughly. I agree. I am not in disagreement with that. But he's using the gloves to take trash out of the trash bin and put his trash into individual Ziplocs. I am not against the using gloves in the house. What I'm against is him sorting through trash that he has already thrown away and putting them into Ziploc bags. What would be the reason for that? Hella Swanky says, that's the only reason. Innocent till proven guilty. That, and because I went to school for journalism and have diagnosed OCD. I've only heard one side. If everything is same at trial, starts, then guilty. Agreed. I definitely appreciate everyone doing the innocent until proven guilty. There is a lot of evidence against him, but Hella Swanky is right. We have not heard his side. He may tell us he was not even in the area. He may tell us he has never seen these girls before in his life, or that guy, right? So we don't know what his side of the story is. And we'll see on June 26th if he's going to say he's guilty or if he's going to say non-guilty and we're going to trial. And then we will hear his side of the story at the trial. We just got through Murdaugh. We just got through the Murdaugh trial, right? And that was a lot in itself. But they still found him guilty, and they didn't even have the murder weapon. In this case, they don't have the murder weapon either, I don't think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I'm getting behind in chat because I'm running my mouth too much. Let's see. Curiouser and Curiouser, like the name, saying, if he's guilty, why is he bagging trash? I don't think it makes sense either way. If he's guilty and he has trash and it has his DNA on it, it could help the police find more evidence that his DNA does match the droplets of blood that they found belonging to the killer, right? Or matching if he left DNA behind on the knife holder or whatever it is that he has. Kimmy Locker says the SEM more effective when if being nosy with the person. Hella Swanky says, exactly same. I have boxes of nitrile gloves in like 4 colors. LOL, I use them for so much. Sounds like he has OCD either way. Some of this is weird stuff. I get it. Yes. Cheryl Reed says, I'm leaning towards guilty too, Bree. There's just so much against him, but innocent until proven guilty, and we haven't heard his side of the story. But I don't know how he could even say he wasn't in the area because he turned off his phone for 2 hours, and the last place it was at was in that vicinity. So I don't know. Hedgehog in Space says, if I'm cooking for leftovers, I may have extra baggies left for trashing. it might be less weird than it sounds. Was he using like 2 baggies or 20? He had a box of baggies. Like he was bagging his trash. Like imagine like, let's say you're at your parents' house and you he came home for a break. So let's say maybe he threw away like some of his pencils, and then he also blew his nose. He threw that away. And then he ate dinner and wiped his hand on a napkin. He drank out of a container, right? And he threw it away. That's the type of stuff, if I am correct, that he was bagging. Stuff that is already in the trash, not just stuff laying around the house. So I would have to look more into the actual evidence that he was bagging. I think there is a piece in here on some of the evidence that he was bagging, but I'm just so behind in the chat running my mouth. Curiouser says, I also have kitchen gloves I use when cutting jalapenos. That is smart. I do that too with peppers. Kimmy Locker says, would he argue unfair trial because of the publicity, or has there been some sort of misconduct that I missed? I'm going to assume that he's going to try some. I'm not saying that it's an unfair trial yet, because guess what? We're not at trial yet. But if there's any little whisper of one of the juries faked it to get onto the jury, he's going to do, a mistrial or an appeal because the jury knew too much or whatever it might be. Whatever they mess up on, if he has a good attorney, which it sounds like he should have the good attorney because she's the only one in the state that can handle that kind of case, sounds like he should have a good attorney, right? So if there's any misappropriation going on there, he's going to try to appeal or get the trial dismissed for whatever reason it might be. If he's guilty, but is not able to be proven guilty by the evidence. But this is a lot of evidence, a lot of circumstantial evidence. Okay, let's see. But no, as of right now, no misconduct that I have seen. I know there's an internal investigation that I'm not all the way clear about. I think something him and a police officer said to each other, but they won't tell us what it was. Charles C says they could think he is innocent, or they could just be voting yes that Bryan Kohberger is going to fight the charges. Hard to tell. Yeah, I think I combined two of my questions. That is true. Hedgehog in Space says he could also be trying to ward off pests, but poorly. I'm so behind in the chat. I'm missing a lot. Okay, let me jump back into the timeline because we still, like I said, got articles to go. Let's check on our likes. We are at 75 likes with 70 viewers viewing. If you have not already, please do hit the like button. It does help us out in the algorithm, get more friends, and help us reach the goal of 50K subscribers by the end of this year. I am doing my work. You'll see me start posting some shorts, guys. It may not be your cup of tea to watch short content, but if you see it, just like it. Watch it one time through. That helps me out. Okay, let's see. I am tired of that ticker at the bottom, so we'll give it a break. Let's go ahead and jump back into the timeline. And let's see. MG Mustang 05, nice to see you here in the chat, saying I was studying for his he was studying for his PhD. He thought he was smarter than everyone else. No such thing as the perfect crime. The interesting approach there. Part of me feels like if he did it, it was an experiment to see if he could get away with it. And at this point, he's not getting away with it. If it was him. Curiouser say objection compound. Could happen. There's going to be some objections for sure. Hello, Swanky, reminding us how to become a member. Thank you again, guys. Our membership stream is coming up, where it doesn't mean that only members can watch, but that members can actually join on the live stream with us. So if you are interested in doing anything of that sort, please do become a member. I am probably going to do next weekend, but I will put it in the members community tab to vote on the day we should do. All right, let's see what's going on here. We are still on the arrest day because Brianna gets distracted a lot. Okay, so Bryan Kohberger, with gloves on, was stuffing trash into Ziploc bags, according to the prosecutor. Seizing numerous, when they arrested him, they seized numerous articles of dark clothing. a gun, and his Hyundai Elantra after they tracked him there from Washington State University. That's the other school I couldn't think of. And they also have some information on what was found in the car. I haven't had time to review that yet, but I will get into that on a different stream though. January 2nd, 2023, Bryan Kohberger's family finally breaks their silence in a statement. They go ahead and say, first and foremost, we care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. Let's see. And then the mother added, there are no words that can adequately express the sadness we feel, and we pray each day for them. We will continue to let the legal process unfold. As a family, we will love and support our son and our brother. So, standing tall and saying that they're going to support him through this until he's proven guilty, I guess, or even after he's proven guilty, right? Or if he's proven not guilty. They continued, we have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions. We respect privacy in this matter. We respect privacy in this matter as our family and the family suffering loss can move forward through the legal process. When tactical teams burst into Kohberger's residence and outright, that's where I accidentally copied the same thing. So, oops, I did not mean to highlight that, but I'm not going to reread that because I already read that. I just put it in the wrong spot. Okay. Investigators also noted in the unsealed search warrant that they took a pair of Ziploc bags from Kohberger's car the same night. So, like I said, I will get into the evidence that was found from the car, but I just haven't had time to look through the search warrants all the way. Bryan Kohberger waives his extradition on January 3rd, 2023. Kohberger appeared in Pennsylvania courtroom and waived his extradition to Idaho, meaning that he agreed to return to Idaho to face charges against him. On January 4th, Bryan Kohberger is transported to Idaho. The following day, Kohberger was transported to Idaho. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for January 12th, where he will enter a plea to the charges against him. But he did not enter a plea, right? But he was held without bail on that hearing. He could not bail out, which is good. January 5th, probable cause affidavit is released, revealing the new details of the case. So we are going through the timeline of the case. After Kohberger was returned to Idaho, the probable cause affidavit was released, shedding light on what led to which led the investigators to arrest Kohberger. According to the affidavit, which was reviewed, a sheath of the knife used in the stabbings was left at the scene in the bed where Mogan and Goncalves were found deceased. This is where detectives found DNA linking Kohberger. According to the affidavit, agents took trash from Kohberger's parents' home in Pennsylvania to test for a DNA match. So it looks like they found the DNA, or they found the what do you call it? The trash evidence. I would have to look at the date of the affidavit. I would have to look at the date of the affidavit. I'm assuming it was after December 15th though. Per the affidavit, one of the surviving roommates said, and this is what we were talking about earlier, what the roommate said they saw the killer described in the affidavit as a figure clad in black clothing and a mask. So if he had on a mask, she's not going to be able to fully identify him, who walked past her as he left the crime scene. The roommate also said she heard crying, so she did wake up. Her crying on the night of the killings, as well as a male voice saying something along the lines of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Kohberger was linked to the crime scene from DNA and cell phone pings, the affidavit alleges. Pretty circumstantial, I would say good circumstantial evidence. They don't know if the male voice was Ethan or if it was Bryan saying that the suspect saying that he would help them. It could have been Ethan telling his girlfriend, "Don't worry, I'll help you," or it could have been the suspect saying, "Don't worry, I'll help you." Maybe if they cooperated, I don't know. Around 4:20 a.m., a white sedan referred to as suspect vehicle 1 in the affidavit was seen leaving the area of the home at a fast rate of speed, the affidavit alleges. According to the document, the vehicle and phone associated with Kohberger returned to the scene between 9:12 a.m. and 9:21 a.m. Sounds like a classic return to the scene of the unaliving. What do you guys think about that? Does that sound like guilty? Sounds like a classic case of CSI where the suspect or the guilty person returns to the scene, but we don't know if he's guilty yet or not. Let's go ahead and check out some of the chats. All right. Max says this guy should have flunked school. I don't know. Not for criminology. If it was him, sure. A hedgehog in space says, counter argument. What if he knew that too? Is just weird and in some somnaic and is now in a horrible position. Let me go back and see what MG said. He was studying for his PhD and thought he was smarter than everyone. No such thing as the perfect crime. Oh, is that what you're referring to, hedgehog? Yeah, I don't know. Part of me feels like if it was him, it was a test. Which is bad because 4 people lost their lives for a potential test. Or maybe if it was him, maybe he did have a real vendetta against them. I don't know because they didn't answer his text messages or his DMs. I can't do acrylic or gel. I can only do natural nails. Okay, y'all talk about nails. Let's see. Sounds like Lawyer has a pretty good video out. I haven't seen it yet. Mary says, Bree, he turned off his phone for 2 hours. Exactly. Yes, he did turn off his phone during the time that the murders were happening and turned him on a little bit after a little bit after the crime would have been committed. He also mentioned, let's not forget, he mentioned that he wants to help law enforcement use technology to solve crimes. So was he turning off his phone? If it was him, was he turning off his phone to see if the police will catch on to, oh, there were no phones pinging at the time? And then, I don't know. He could not have tried to be planning a good crime because why would he use his own car? It's so much evidence against him. It's too much evidence against him. A similar car to yours is at the scene. You know these people because you've messaged them. I believe there are some allegations that he's tried to go to a party, if not have gone to a party at the house. Your car your phone has pinged around the location on 12 occasions over 3 months. Potentially you're going to buy drugs. Who knows? I don't know. But there's too much. And then your blood DNA is there with your knife covering. I forget there's something on the knife covering that links back to him as well, but I can't remember exactly what it is. It's too much. Like, it's more than the circumstantial evidence that Murdaugh had, and he was found guilty. So I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel. He turned off his phone. It's a lot. And then he returned to the scene in the morning. 5 hours later. After the police had, I don't know. I don't think I can be unbiased on this one. I want to cover the trial, but I don't think I can be unbiased. I would really like to hear what his point of view is. Like, what is his defense here? What is his defense? Shari says, sounds like he traveled with trash from Pennsylvania. Whoa, good one. I did not think of that. Oh, maybe that's why he was following too closely, which could also be probably seen as, speeding, or maybe even trying to run people off the road so that he's not the one constantly switching lanes. He's making the people in front of him switch lanes. Did not think about that. Maybe potentially brought trash from Pennsylvania. Makes sense. Jen Joe says, you bet. Also recommend using a glass nail file. Oh, you guys are talking about nails. Cynthia CM dropping the B emoji. Thank you for the support. Nice to see you here live. Tanya D says, it does to Cheryl Reed, and driving trash across the country is not normal. No, that is not normal. It's absolutely not normal. Cheryl Reed says, not at all. Jen Joe says he could have thrown out evidence on his cross-country trip back to Pennsylvania. That probably would have been a smarter move than driving it to your parents' house and potentially putting it in Ziploc bags. I don't know. Hedgehog says the Mustang, definitely. I'm just trying to keep both options in my head until the trial. It's hard. It's very hard. I'm having a hard time, and I'm trained in this, right? And this is why I don't do criminal law, because I cannot be unbiased. I get biased when too much evidence starts coming in. MG Mustang 05 says, can anyone imagine being his parents? They are sitting on the couch watching American Idol, per se, having a popcorn night, and then the state police, the feds, etc., bust into your house while your kid is in the kitchen putting trash in Ziploc bags. Like, I'm adding on to the comment, but your kid is in the kitchen, your grown kid at that, in the kitchen putting trash in Ziploc bags, and the police comes in and arrests you. Just imagine the look on their faces. Like, what is happening? We thought it was weird, but I guess not that weird. Sorry. It's all good. Cynthia CM says, hi, everyone. He at least has an obsessive behavior. Something. Messaging someone multiple times, showing up around their house assuming that he was showing up in that area to be around their house, showing up at their house multiple times. There's some other stuff about his behavior in his own program that I'm going to get into as well on a different stream. Don't forget to finesse the algorithm, y'all. Help the stream. Hit the like button. Yes, thank you for the reminder, Hella Swanky. Make sure y'all hit the like. Let's see where we're at. We are at 83 likes. 83 likes, guys. We are only 17. I can do math in my head. That really surprises me. 17 likes away from hitting our 100 like stream goal, which we hit last stream. So let's do it again. Tanya D says, I'm with Bree. I feel like it was a bit of an experiment he was doing. That's what it feels like to me. Essie says, the crime makes me think that ignoring or rejecting an incel, there are allegations that he is an incel as well. It's dangerous as hell, not victim blaming. It just scares me. Yes, there are some allegations about that as well. And connection that I actually watched on a channel called, I think it's called Swoop. She calls herself Swoop. Just did a documentary part, because she covered several pieces of this, that he may have seen himself as an incel, and that potentially the Papa Rogers Facebook account was actually Bryan Kohberger, probably trying to throw people off of his trail. And Papa Rogers, what's the first name of the guy? Oh, I forgot that fast. But it was somebody Rogers, spelled the same way as the Papa Rogers Facebook channel or Facebook page. That was like the first publicly acknowledged incel. And there was some notes relating to maybe a book that he wrote as well. So I'll have to look more into that because I completely forgot. But there are allegations that he was an incel. So good point, Essie. Elise says, my bro is home and I gotta eat some dinner, but I'll be here quietly off and on. Oh, awesome. No problem. We're happy to still have you here. Jen Joe says, glass files. Y'all are talking about files. And just said, always with the thumbs up. Tiny says, Bree, you is smart because I can't do math in my head. I can do math in my head, but I can't speak yet. I'm on a live stream trying to talk to people. Hedgehog in space says, are you really a lawyer? That math was suspiciously good. Because lawyers are known for not being able to do math. I'm good at it. Hey, I want the likes. Maybe mathematician to get the likes going, right? Essie, it says Elliot Rogers. Yeah, that's the name. Elliot Rogers. I think they were like the first publicly self-proclaimed incel or something like that, and they wrote a book and also committed a mass killing spree as well. So I'm sure he's not going to tell us that that is his motive, but that could be a motive that or a point that the prosecution points out. But I'm sure he's not going to say, "Hey, I'm an incel, they rejected me, so I did this, self-defense." Not a good argument. That would not be a good argument. But I don't know. There's a lot of evidence going against him. I would love to see what his defense is, because right now I'm not seeing how he could possibly have any defense at this point. But potentially, y'all, we are at 87 likes, which means we only have 13 more to go. We got 13 more to go. Let's see if we can get there. January 10th. Oh, let me show y'all what I'm looking at. Okay, January 10th, a police source tells people Bryan Kohberger spoke about the Idaho students during his extradition while he is being extradited from the home in Pennsylvania and then booked into Latah County Jail. A police source told people that Kohberger made small talk with officers, including making mention of the Idaho students who were killed. He seemed really nervous, a police source who was involved in the process. He was narrating to himself everything that was happening. At one point, he was saying something to himself like, "I'm fine, it's okay," which sounds like "it's okay, I'll help you," that the roommate said that she heard. And for me, roommate, her boyfriend's probably there often. Would she have recognized the roommate's boyfriend's voice to know that it wasn't him? Questions that need answers. I would really feel sorry if this poor girl has to get on the stand, but she may have to get on the stand. I feel like in the beginning, I felt like the roommates knew something. I don't know if I'm all the way off of that theory, but if she didn't know something and she has to get on the stand, I would feel very, very bad for her. I can't imagine that the one roommate just slept through everything. That's the part that's driving me crazy. Okay, let's see. At one point, he was saying something to himself like, "I'm okay, or I'm fine, it's okay." Like he was reassuring himself that the whole thing wasn't awful. Kohberger read his Miranda rights during his arrest and cannot be questioned about the case without an attorney present. He didn't speak directly to officers about the case, but the police source said that he did make an offhand comment about it. He did say it's really sad what happened to them, but he didn't say anything more. The source said he's smarter than that. So it sounds like the police source also believes he is guilty, but we don't know yet, right? All right, we are on January 12th. Kohberger appears in court for a hearing. At a preliminary hearing for Bryan Kohberger, a preliminary hearing for Bryan Kohberger was set for June 26th. He waived his rights to a speedy preliminary hearing, with his defense team asking the court for time to prepare for the case. They also asked for bail, which was denied. I don't remember if that was the same exact. I think it was the same hearing though. On January 18th, authorities detailed the items they seized from Bryan Kohberger's residence. In newly unsealed search warrant, authority details the items they seized from Kohberger's residence after he was arrested and charged with the murders of the 4 students. The items seized from Kohberger's residence include 1 disposable black glove, receipts from Walmart and Marshall. Wonder what was on those receipts. A dust container vacuum. Wonder what was in the dust container. Did he vacuum out his car? Possible hair strands. 1 Fire TV stick. Why did they take his Fire TV stick? Is there something on there? 1 possible animal hair strand. Interesting. 1 computer tower. What could be on that computer? An item with a dark red spot, which I believe was a pillow. 2 pieces of uncased pillow with reddish brown stain, and mattress covers. That part confuses me because, like, did he take that out of the house, or that was from his house? According to the search warrant, which was obtained by people, and that is the end of the timeline that I have here. So there's some holes missing in there that I need to go and fill in. Like I said, I was not as prepared as I wanted to be, but that's okay. We're going to get it together before the trial comes up. There's just so many pieces to this story, and it's very hard to keep up. Let's see. Lambe Bay says it was at first, but after the third bite, it was too sweet. Oh, you had some good dessert, huh? Tiny D says, I hate when that happens. Cheryl Reed says, I thought the same thing, Bree. The incel thing, yeah. Crystal Harris says, I don't know what an incel is, and I don't want to look it up and make Google think something is wrong with me. An incel is basically usually a male, but I heard it was actually started by a female, but usually a male who does not have a sex life. They constantly get rejected, or they don't even put themselves out there to be rejected because they feel like people are going to reject them. And so they take it out on, generally it leads to them doing some type of harm to people. I don't know if that's a part of the definition, but incels do typically attack people. There's whole groups where they get on the internet, kind of like we are here, and talk about how nobody loves them and wants to love them. And they tend to have issues with women because they reject them, and with other men because they're able to date the women and can't get the same type of love that those men are getting. So those are incels. They basically can't get none. They can't get a partner, right? And so they take it out on people through, what do you call this? Through violence, or they just have a TED talk on their discords. I don't know, but a lot of them do lead to stuff like this. Tanya D says he was self-soothing. MG Mustang 05 says the cops were actually tracking him across the country. He was pulled over twice. So you think they were tracking him, or you don't think they just pulled him over by chance? I feel like it was by chance, but let me know if you think something different. Tiny D says same here to Crystal Harris. Crystal Harris cracking up. I can't remember the incel. I don't want to look it up. Vixen Jinjo says, I Google weird stuff all the time. LOL, incel is involuntary celibate. Oh, that's a better definition. I just said that. That's a better definition than I gave. But it does tend to lead to violent stuff. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Looking it up. Cheryl Reed says to Crystal Harris, I just looked it up and hope it doesn't start appearing in my feed. You're going to start getting a link to support groups. Cheryl C says, oh, we got a Cheryl Reed and the Cheryl C, and you guys chats are right next to each other. Cheryl C says, they were out drinking before they went home and went to sleep, right? I know someone who could sleep through a brass band after going out and having a bunch of beers. I don't know what to think there. Yes, that is also true. If you are blackout drunk, then that is potentially something that can happen. You would be blacked out drunk. But were they the ones that went out drinking? I thought it was more of, I think everybody was out that night. So I think you're right. MG Mustang says his parents don't have money, working class people. He's at the mercy of the public pretender's office. I thought you mistyped that, but I think you meant to put that on purpose. Cynthia CM says the kids had a doggy, meaning the Idaho 4, they had doggies. Hello Swaggy says, I feel like I'm the only one who doesn't think he was an incel or is an incel. I don't know why, just a gut feeling. He's a little weird. For me, a lot of this, if all of this stuff is true, the constant messaging of the same girl, putting stuff into baggies, I don't know. He's a little weird to me. I could see why someone would not want to date him based off of what I could see here. I don't know him as a person, of course, so I can't make a full, guess as to why people wouldn't want to date him, but I don't know. I don't think so. Chelsea says they mostly blame women for their situation. Yes, that is true. Crystal Harris says she wasn't expecting that definition. Yeah, my definition was a lot more sinister. Kimmy Locker says, I'm not worried about my browser history when I die, but if I'm ever accused of murder, my streaming history won't do me any favors through ditching my Fire Stick wouldn't help hide it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Same here. I watch Murder Mystery like every week. Hello Swanky says, worst part is most incels don't even try, but they all blame women for their involuntary celibacy, whether they've put themselves out there or not. That is true. A lot of times they're only rejected by like 2 people, maybe. And then all of a sudden they're like, women hate me. They don't want to be with me. And they don't even put themselves out there. So I agree. Crystal Harris says, and I hope not, to Cheryl Reed. Jen Joe says, you did good, Bree. Thank you. Thank you. Member of the jury says, how am I almost late? Got some catching up to do. It's okay. We are happy to have you here live. MG Mustang 05 says, the cops had a lead on him early, but couldn't disclose it to the public or media. He was tracked across the country's videos of the stops are online. Yes, I do know about the videos. I have not watched them yet, but I do know about the videos. I thought it was by chance. I just thought it was a thing that unalivers get stopped by the police, but don't get arrested when they are initially stopped. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, that was the example I gave earlier. I think Ted Bundy had similar situations. Hella Swanky says, I'm not saying he's not weird or creepy or even a typical guy doing awkward stuff trying to approach women. I just don't know if he self-identifies as an incel. He may not. Do you have to self-identify to be an incel? Because he may not identify it as it, but he might be it. According to this stuff, right? Amy Evans says the house was a huge party house. I lived next to it. They were probably passed out drunk, which they did say that they all went out that night. So it's possible, but I mean, getting stabbed and being the person downstairs is completely different. Like, I believe the people that were victims did end up waking up. Amica fan says the flatmate heard things and looked out the door several times and did go and look. There is something wrong with her timeline. I'm suspicious. Do you think they knew about it too? Because that's what I was thinking when the case first came out. I was like, they had to know something, but now there's not as much focus on them. So I really don't know. Ooh, or maybe his defense will be it wasn't him, but it was them, or that he didn't do it alone. Oh, I don't know. I'm ready for June 26th. Let's go. Jen Joe says bagging up trash in Ziploc bags is not normal behavior. No, it's not. Hello, Soki says most incels don't approach any women, not even 2, especially younger ones. That makes sense. They just think they're going to get rejected, right? Hello, Swanky says, I think the stops were planned. I just don't think they can admit that right now. That makes sense. I never thought about that. Shelly says, where did the incel allegation come from? I forgot. I watched it over. First of all, someone put it in the, was it not you, Cheryl Reed, or was it Cheryl C? Somebody put it in the comments. But I was, like I said, I watched the Swoop documentary on it this weekend. And there are allegations that he was an incel because of the Papa Rogers page that had a similar spelling as the incel. And then also, what else was there? The fact that he was coming after these girls and they were not giving him any attention. I don't know if there's another route to it, but that's my assumption from it. Tiny D says 96 likes. We are only 4 more away. Did we do math in our head? We are at 97 likes. If you have not already, please do hit the like button. It does help us out in the stream. Hello Swaggy says, yeah, you got a self-ID as an incel. It's the involuntary part. Plus, he's dated. Okay, I see what you're saying. You have to volunteer. I didn't know. I thought we could just diagnose. No, not diagnose, but you know what I mean. Chelsea says the FBI was asked if they had anything to do with the 2 stops on the way to Pennsylvania with his dad. They denied having anything to do with it. He was being followed by the FBI, so it is pretty coincidental. That makes sense. I don't know enough about it, but I thought it was coincidental. Some people are saying that it was on purpose. We'll see. I guess we'll see if it ever comes out. Danny Daisy 5280. I like that. Okay, bombers were caught because of a faulty tail light. Sometimes karma catches up with these people. I agree. It seems like they always get pulled over. I agree. They're always up to something and they're always getting pulled over. Like Bryan Kohberger, not only did he get pulled over twice on his way back home, but he got pulled over in that area too. So he was, I don't know. If he's the one that did it, I wouldn't be surprised. Hello Swing says, I've watched far too many documentaries on East Intel. I can see. Cheryl says, no, it wasn't one of the Cheryls. Who put it? I can't remember now. That's true to Dandy. Daisy says Tanya. Tanya says, thanks for the membership to Cynthia CM. No, not the Cheryls. Okay. I forgot who put it. Oh, there was a gifted membership, but it disappeared for me and it doesn't show up in StreamYard. So I'm sorry that I missed it. But Cynthia CM, thank you for gifting the Boss Attorney Bree membership. Who did you gift it to? You gifted it to Elizabeth Carmichael. Welcome to the membership, and thank you to Cynthia C for supporting the Bree Hive and getting us new members into the channel. Elizabeth Carmichael, you now have access to the Boss Attorney Bree emojis and badges, and we'll have access to the live stream coming up. I was going to give you a date, but we haven't picked a date yet, but you'll have access to it. Thank you so much again, Cynthia C. I can't pull it up on Cynthia CM. I cannot pull it up on here, but thank you. All right, let's see where we are at. All right, so I had a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on this case. We are almost done. There was some stuff. Let's see. I think we already covered this one, though. Yeah, we did already cover this one of him putting stuff in the baggies. We covered that actually a lot, so I don't think we should go into that any further. Yeah, he was awake in shorts. Yeah, we got all of that actually. So no, we don't need this article actually. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, that's what I wanted to get into. So over the weekend, it has been alleged that Bryan Kohberger is going to be investigated for other homicides in the Pennsylvania area. Go ahead and drop in the comment section or in the chat whether you heard of this. If you have heard of it, what do you think about it? We're going to go ahead and read an article about it. It's a short article, so not too much. We have reached our 100 like goal. Thank you everyone in the live stream for supporting, hitting the like button and helping us reach our like goal for the stream. We hit 100 likes in an hour and 40 minutes. So that is good. I don't remember how long it took us last time, but I'm just happy we made it. Yeah, I need to get a soundboard so we can make like horn sounds and like the stream is going to start popping. Don't worry. I'm going to get my soundboard and we're going to be having a good time over here with the sound effects. Okay. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. Okay. Let's see. Yay. We hit snaps to our 100 likes for the live stream. All right. So Bryan Kohberger investigated over other homicides, and there's not a lot of information over this, but I did want to go ahead and check it out. And of course, the internet gives us a lot of ads. Don't you miss the days when there were no ads on the internet? I do. Okay. But I guess that's how we make money here on YouTube. So I guess I have to be quiet. Police in Pennsylvania are investigating Bryan Kohberger over potential involvement in other outstanding homicides, according to News Nation. Kohberger has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, along with felony burglary involving the Idaho students. We've already listed them earlier, so we're not going to do that again. 2 other female students were also in the house that survived. Mogan, Goncalves, and Kernoodle all lived in the property while Chaplin was staying with Kernoodle, his girlfriend, when the attack occurred. Let's see. While Kohberger has yet to enter a plea, in January, shortly after his arrest, Pennsylvania public defender said he was eager to be exonerated. I thought there was more in this. Okay, here we go. If confirmed that authorities are investigating Kohberger over the unsolved murders, the case against him could expand significantly, though this has not been officially announced. The news that police were investigating Kohberger's possible role in other murders was broken by News Nation on Wednesday, with presenter Chris Cuomo stating, "Tonight, I can report to you exclusively that authorities in Pennsylvania, where he was arrested, are investigating potential involvement in other outstanding homicides." The news was confirmed by Mark Garagos, a trial attorney, who told Kumo, "Yes, I have heard similar, and not just in this case, but virtually every high-profile case that is circumstantial evidence murder case. You almost inevitably hear of other unsolved murders, and law enforcement looks to see if they can link whoever the suspect is." So with these high profile murders, if they did it this one time, they got caught. Majority of cases that I watch where there is a serial killer or someone confident enough to stab 4 people in one night in 25 minutes, they probably already committed other murders before that. So that makes sense to me that once they catch someone who is accused of doing something so horrific, they will try to link it to more, because who knows, maybe he's gotten away with it before, and then just this time, or not him, but whoever the suspect is, maybe they got away with it before and they just got sloppy this go round, right? So it makes sense that they would look into him, because um he's on the hook right now for this to be proven guilty or innocent, right? Um, Asked why would Garagos replied, "Well, for one thing, I suppose it fills a vacuum. Why did somebody do this when you don't have a motive? That is the most obvious explanation, and also the cynic in me, the defense lawyer in me, suspects it's way too dirty. It's way too dirty somebody up." Como replied that authorities don't need to smear Kohbergers before asking retired FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer. What a name, Coffindaffer. Never heard of that. What sort of thing the police would be looking for. She said, "Well, specifically, if they have a case which fits the modus operandi," which means their motive, right? That's what they usually do. Their MO. When you hear MO, that's, they do the same thing over and over. "That matches what happened in Idaho. For instance, is the target a young, beautiful co-ed? Was the weapon of choice a knife? Was the arrival and departure of the individual in a vehicle as opposed to being dropped off or by foot?" Those don't sound like very distinctive MOs, but okay, as far as the picking them up and dropping them off. "Was the time chosen at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock time frame, or was it in the daytime?" So, does it fit their MO? They contacted Moscow police and Pennsylvania State Police for comment. The probable cause affidavit used to justify Kohberger's arrest said phone records indicated that he had been near the Moscow house at least 12 prior occasions, which we talked about. The police have issued search warrants for Google and TikTok and dating app Tinder, requesting information on the 3 victims going back to January 2021. So, was Bryan Kohberger on these apps trying to get in contact with these ladies who were constantly rejecting him? Sources say technically, yes, he tried to message them on Instagram. They also did a search warrant for Facebook, I believe, for Meta. And then also for dating apps. Did he try to swipe right on these girls? And was he swiped left on by these girls? I don't mean to laugh, but I would like to know, did he try to get them on Tinder too? Did he pop across their Tinder case? I mean, their Tinder swipes. I don't know. It's hard for me to be unbiased, y'all. I'm sorry. I lost it. I thought I would do good, but I'm not doing good. I'm sorry. Let's see what the chat's saying here. Do 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 do. Okay. Tiny says, "I need to sign up. What is your name on Discord?" I don't have a Discord, but maybe you're talking to somebody else. Saying yay to our 100 likes. Yes, we made it. Hello Swanky says, whoa, Def did not hear about that. If that's true, changes a lot. LOL. I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. Congratulations for our 100 likes, right? And then Cheryl C says soundboard at 50K. No, I'm getting a soundboard like next month. I'm not waiting for 50K. I'm just gonna write it off as an expense. We are getting a soundboard sometime next month, okay? If not next month, the month after that. But we're not waiting to 50K unless we hit 50K next month, maybe. But I don't think we're gonna get there that fast. I feel like we're gonna hit it at the brink of December. We'll hit 50K. But soundboard is coming soon. Soundboard is for sure coming soon. Hello Swanky says to Tanya D, same username. Oh, you guys talk about Discord. Okay, there we go. You weren't talking to me. You're talking to Hello Swanky. Crystal Harris says soundboard sound pew pew pew. Yes. Cynthia CM says I didn't know about that, but seems very possible. Lambe Bay says I heard about that, and I think it's just normal protocol now that they have his DNA to run and know his MO and see if it matches the cold cases. Yes, that's exactly what the article said. About searching other cases. It makes sense because a lot of times when these if it's him, right? I'm trying to stay unbiased, right? If it's him, a lot of times serial killers or killers in general, they have committed another murder before the one that they actually get caught on. A lot of times. Not saying it's the case here, but a lot of times it does happen. Giving the thumbs up from Tanya. Jen Joe says, oh, I lost my chat. I have heard it smart to look into to see if there's any DNA matches. Yeah, and maybe you can solve some unsolved cases, right? MG Mustang, oh, but that would be so devastating for his parents to have to hear. Oh my gosh. MG Mustang 05 says, I've seen the reporting. In my opinion, this is an initial attempt for cops to clear their books. Como isn't a reliable source of accurate information. And that's what's hard about reporting on stuff that's just articles. So I feel you on that, MG. Cheryl Reed says, especially because they have his DNA. Agreed. Cheryl Reed says, sounds very generic. It is. They're saying that they do it for pretty much everybody, right? But of course, the news outlets puts them out there to get people all riled up. As he says, oh, MO is for motive operandi. So it's how they normally operate in their murder sprees, whatever you want to. This video is going to be red flagged for sure. I got red flagged on Meghan Markle, or not red flag, yellow flagged on Meghan Markle on Tuesday. And I'm like, what did I say in that case that got me yellow flagged? But when I'm saying yellow flag, it says not suitable for ads, so your video doesn't get pushed as much. But yeah, so I'm definitely probably gonna get red flagged today. I said murder like in the first 1 minute of the stream. As he says, MO is for motive. I thought it was something like method of operation. Is what is it? I just forgot it that fast. Motive operandi. Just how they tend to operate. Just what you think, but just different wording. I guess English wording. But yeah, it's basically what you think. Lambebe says, right, I thought they'd be looking into brutal knife attacks and someone that he liked but was ignored. Yeah, that would be something smart to look into, especially if that's his reason behind this one, or the suspect's reason behind this one. Cheryl C says, it makes sense to me that they would look at other open cases, especially since the case is so circumstantial with no proven motive. Look to see if the suspect escalated over time or was a serial. Agreed. Good analysis. Losing my train of thought already. Michelle C said Jennifer Coffin-Daffer is not a reliable source. No one's a reliable source. At this point, she's more concerned with her social media clicks and sticking to the facts. Makes sense. That's why I tend to try to cover the actual legal documents. Like, even though they're allegations, they're going into court records, so they're a little bit more careful with making sure they're saying the right thing, right? But it was something that popped up and it was about the case, so we're looking at it. Are they going to catch someone under or catch more murders under it? We don't know. It seems like it's more of a kind of not generic, but routine thing to do. Hello, Sonky says, I was saying I hadn't heard about him being investigated for other murders. Yeah, I got it. Modus operandi. Messing it up already. Yes, and it's Latin. So motive of operation would probably be the English translation. Help us out. Hello, Swanky. MO is modus operandi. It's Latin for mode or manner of operating. Yep. Okay. Help us out. Even before I asked for it. Thank you. Essie says, thanks to Hello Swanky. Yes, of course. Always helping us with the grammar, with the foreign languages. I'm losing my voice. I don't even know how I kept a smile on this whole stream. Like, this is ridiculous. This is not a good case to be smiling through. People are going to think I'm a psycho. Let me see. There is some reports about Bryan Kohberger being secluded in jail. I don't know if you guys want to go through that. We may go through that at a different time. But I don't feel bad for him. If he's by himself in jail, that's his problem, not my problem. Unless he didn't do it. I guess we can go through it. It's not that long of an article. Let's check it out. They're saying that Bryan is lonely in jail. Do we feel bad for him? If he's the one that didn't know, if he didn't do it, then sure, we can feel bad for him. Bryan Kohberger is accused of the murders. Let's see. Kohberger has been held without bail in the Latah County Jail in Masco, Idaho. The same town where the 4 students were killed. The jail where the suspect is being held is in solitary confinement, which I heard is very hard. Is located in the basement of Latah County Courthouse. In the basement? That does sound bad. Oh, man. Okay. In January, Kohberger was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and felony burglary after being arrested on December 30th at his parents' home in Pennsylvania for killing the victims. Let's see. He didn't enter a plea guilty. So let's see. Speaking to Daily Mail, one inmate at jail said Kohberger follows his case obsessively on the television set inside his cell. The inmate said he watches himself all the time. It was really kind of bizarre. What do you guys think about that? Sounds a lot like a person returning to the crime of the scene of the crime. But not pointing any fingers yet. Let's see. According to News Nation, Ashley Banfield Kohberger is able to choose which channel he wants to watch, and apparently he watches himself on TV. In contrast, what if he's watching us? No, he's not watching us. I don't know if they get YouTube. In contrast to other prisoners who can only view what is selected by the jailers on a shared TV, so he's getting special treatment. A source inside the jail said Kohberger receives mass every Sunday at 7 p.m. Addressing Daily Mail, reporter says he sits down with the pastor and receives his own private mass. Sounds like specialty treatment to me. Don't know what you guys think about that. It's just the 2 of them, and no, I have no idea what they might talk about. One prisoner who had seen Kohberger being moved about said he always has the same expression or non-expression. He just looks straight ahead. I've never even seen his eyebrows or mouth move. He never says anything. Been told that Kohberger is very polite and hasn't made any trouble for anyone since arriving in jail, which is good. She added a source who has intimate knowledge of Bryan Kohberger in jail has told us that upon setting eyes on Kohberger for the first time in person, it was a whole other image. On television, the description was that he looked like a skinny toothpick on TV. But the toothpick image on TV, according to the source, in person looks like he is well over 200 pounds and that he is quite imposing. Now, that changes a lot for me. I did not read this article before I brought it up. I just read the headline and like the first couple sentences. But besides the point, remember, everyone is saying he's skinny. But also remember, he or if it was him, if he was the one in the house, 4 people, 25 minutes max. 4 people, 25 minutes max with a knife. Remember, I was saying it will be exhausting to do that. That's a very physical activity, right? If he is really this bigger type person that this source is describing, that makes a lot more sense to me than if he was 160 pounds, because he would be skinny, probably not as strong. Ethan may have been able to fight him off, right? Or they may have been, they could have jumped him or whatever it might have been. But him being a little bit bigger at 5'10", probably has some muscle on him. That's changing. It's making me lean more towards guilty, but it's definitely changing my mind on if he would have been able to commit the crime alone. Let's see what else is here before I jump into the chat. Kohberger was a criminology graduate student, sometimes a teaching assistant at Washington State. And that was it, actually. So there was not much to go. Let's see what the chat is saying about his jail sentence. Alice Maggie said, notice I was quiet during the math stuff. Y'all crack me up. I cannot. Cheryl C says, that's why content creators hate on MM so much, Meghan Markle. People like Christopher Boozy are out here reporting YouTube streams and social media accounts on Meghan Markle's behalf. She may not even be behind the stuff, though. Oh, I don't know exactly what you're referring to there. As far as I don't know what you're referring to there. But I did cover Meghan Markle. Oh, for me getting a yellow flag. I think it was, I don't know what the heck I said in there, but they yellow flagged me immediately. I kind of get that often, honestly, because I feel like I bring up stories that do not have to do with what I'm talking about, and I don't censor my words. Not that I don't cuss or anything, but I say like words that YouTube don't like die and murder and stuff like that. As he says, Idaho. No, I'm not. Jen Joe says, me too, the hella swanky. I don't math in my head anymore. Makes sense. Hella swanky says, word, languages, phonetics. I got you. Math, physics, bye-bye. Law. And I defer to Bree and Natalie, lawyer chick, and the Hollywood attorney. Yes, love to hear it. All right. Jazzy G says, why is he in solitary? Probably to protect himself. I don't know. I have not looked into that. So let me be quiet. I would think to protect himself because it's a high profile case, but I really don't know. Reserve my brain power. Cheryl Reed says he chose to delay his hearing. Yes, he did. He chose to not have a speedy preliminary hearing. He did try to get bail, which was denied. Judge was like, I don't think so. MG says motive is not a component that needs to be proven. That's just what the media likes to jump on. When someone kills, the motive is to kill. Man is an animal, just like the lions, tigers, and bears. So motive is not something that you have to prove in trial. You don't have to prove what his motive is. You can give multiple motives behind it, as we've seen in the Murdaugh trial and probably whatever other murder trials you guys have watched. But motive is good for the jury to make sense of, was this intentional? Why did they do it? It makes less sense for someone to, most murders are committed by people that know the victim versus random attacks. There's more of people that know the victim. So having a motive makes it easier to kind of grapple with the facts of, okay, this is why that person did it. Okay, so I would see why it's intentional, i.e., allegedly, let's say that Bryan went over there to ask the girl on a date finally at 3:00 in the morning, assuming that it was Bryan that did it, right? And he said, hey, can you go on a date with me? And she said no. And this was like the 10th time she said no to him. He pulls out a knife and he stabs her. That makes more sense to me, or maybe even some jurors, than just saying, oh, he went in the house, saw a pretty girl and slashed her throat. Actually knowing the people makes sense of, oh, maybe he was stalking them. Oh, maybe he was obsessed with them. Oh, it makes sense that it would lead to a stabbing versus it just being some random person. Of course, it could just be some random person, some random killing, but it helps when people can make more sense of it with a motive. But you're absolutely right. You do not need to prove motive in a case, a murder case, or really any criminal case. Cheryl Reed says, why isn't he in general population? Like I said, it's probably because of the high profile of the case. Cheryl C says, has he beefed up in jail? It almost seems like the source, assuming we can believe the source, is saying he was already like that. I wouldn't be surprised because even the way he holds his body doesn't come off as someone who's skinny and frail to me. His build probably just fits inside his clothes to where we can't really see his, maybe muscles in his arms or potentially muscles in his legs. I guess you can grow muscle fast, but 3 months in solitary, I can't really see that happening. I don't know. Someone said Boozy is nuts. Boozy block too. I think we all are. Hedgehog in space says solitary is hard for me. It's deeply unhealthy for humans, but at the same time, don't unalive others. True. It's like sometimes you feel bad for them and then you remember what they did or what they're accused of doing. If he didn't do it, horrible. If he did do it, probably deserved to be in solitary, right? Hedgehog in space says so many people had deep issues with the panorama lockdown. Panorama. Jen Joe says, I've seen other YouTubers say just the mention of her last name on streams seems to call the YouTube algorithm attention. Maybe she's a bad word too. Like I said, murder is a bad word. So maybe she's a bad word too. Let's see. Crystal Harris says, yes, you don't curse. I appreciate that. How rude of them to flag you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't. I may say some words that people may consider to be cuss words, but I try not to. My eyebrows doing their own thing today. Let's see. Let me jump through this. Okay. Cheryl MG says to Cheryl Reed, he's in a county jail in a small town with the highest profile case when they have seen. The goal of the sheriff is to keep him alive while he is in custody. Makes sense. That's what I'm leaning more towards. I don't know exactly, but I'm assuming it's because it's high profile. Cheryl C says, people really like to have a reason for these kind of horrendous acts. Sadly, sometimes we never get that. That is true. And a lot of us are upset when we don't get it. Even imagine, what is that girl's name? Aubrey Hale, or what is her name, that just did the school shooting at is it a Christian school or some type of private school? Everyone wants to know why she did it because she said he was a transgender female to male, if I'm not mistaken. But they keep using her female name and keep referring to her as her. And everyone wants to know why she did it. She left I don't know which one she wants to be called. He left a manifesto and they're not releasing it, and people really want to know why. So I agree with you, Cheryl C. People really like to know the why. It helps them kind of grapple with why someone would do something like that, right? All right. And that is on that one. And then have you guys heard the potential that he would face a firing squad rather than lethal injection if he is convicted and given the death penalty, which is, if he is convicted of this on first degree, probably will get the death penalty for murders. That he will be faced with a firing squad rather than lethal injection because there is a lethal injection shortage. I don't know how true that is. There is an article on it. I'm just wondering if you guys heard of it. I'm going to read through it a little bit to kind of see if we can get some thoughts on it. But other than that, I don't have much opinion on it because I don't even know if that's legal. I don't think that's legal, but let's see what it says. Bryan Kohberger could face death by firing squad if he is convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students, and lethal drugs are not available, according to an Idaho state rep. Kohberger, 28, is charged with the murders. Prosecutors have yet to say if they will seek the death penalty in Kohberger's case, but legal experts told Newsweek it is all but certain they will. I feel like they don't have another choice. Like, I think people would be very upset if they don't seek the death penalty on him. He is awaiting the preliminary hearing in June. If convicted and sentenced to death, Kohberger could face execution by firing squad, as Governor Brad Little is poised to sign a bill allowing the method. Oh my gosh. I was just saying, I don't know if that's legal, but if they're going to sign up, why? But I guess why am I upset? Do we have to be merciful if he really did do this? Like, do we have to be merciful? But firing squad just sounds so intense, right? She's poised to sign the bill allowing the method if the state is unable to obtain lethal injection drugs. The bill passed by the the bill passed by the legislature. I cannot say that word to save my life. On Monday, with a veto-proof majority, comes as Idaho has been struggling to secure lethal drugs and carry out the death sentences. So people on death row are not getting their full sentence because they can't get the drug. It originated with Skog, a Republican, after the state was unable to execute Gerald Pazuzzo Jr. last year. Pazuzzo was terminally ill, has had his scheduled execution postponed multiple times because Idaho officials have not been able to secure the drug needed to put him to death, as pharmaceutical companies have increasingly barred executioners from using their drug. Did not know about that. In an appearance on News Nation, Skog said he hoped Little, a Republican who has voiced support for the death penalty, would sign the bill into law in the first few days and that it would take effect from July 1st. That's making me sad. Like, that sounds like so aggressive, but I mean, if he did that to them, then I guess it's not that bad if he did that. But geez, that just sounds so aggressive to me. He said it would apply to those already on death row as well as those sentenced to death in the future, regardless of when the crime was committed. Scott said, I can barely can get through this. It's like making me Scott said Kohberger's case was not the reason for the bill passed, but certainly his name comes up as a potential. We've been trying to carry out the death penalty, which is justice for those who have murdered in the first degree, for quite some time. Only Mississippi, Utah, Oklahoma, and South Carolina currently have laws allowing. I didn't even know this was a thing. Allowing firing squads if other execution methods are unavailable during the Death Penalty Information Center, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. South Carolina law is on hold pending the outcome of a legal challenge. Yeah, I feel like that should have a legal challenge. Skog said, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but Skog said it is impossible for Idaho officials to get a hold of the lethal drugs, while lethal injection is the state preferred method. He argued that death by firing squad is a more humane method. Do I not know what a firing squad is? Like, I'm imagining someone like shooting, like not someone, I'm imagining multiple gunmen shooting at the person until they die. And my nervous laugh is about to come out, but is it just one to the head, executioner style? I don't know. That's humane. Okay, I guess if that's what they say. We cannot get the drug. We could not carry out the death penalty, and our preference is for lethal injection. But if we cannot do that, this is the best course that we can take to carry out justice. I understand you have to do their you have to do their sentence, but geez Louise. Death occurs usually within about 10 seconds in firing executions. Y'all, I'm so shocked right now. I can't even. With lethal injections, he said there's certainly a complication of not being able to get the drug to carry out, but there have been complications with lethal injections that we don't like. Hence, people are potentially people not dying fast enough. Skog has been contacted for further comment by email. 8 people, 7 men and 1 woman are on death row in Idaho, according to Idaho Department of Correction. Idaho's last execution was Richard Livet that took place in 2012. That was a long time ago. Death row, not a super long time ago, but that is a while to have some people on death row that needs to, finish their sentence and they can't. Death row prisoners in the US typically spend more than a decade awaiting execution while they exhaust their legal appeals, according to the DPIC. Whew, the stress of that. Let me go ahead and get in the chat. Did y'all know about that? I did not know that was a thing. Hence why I don't do criminal law, y'all. I was able to smile through the whole stream until we got to that. All right. We have Piece of the Puzzle giving a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, maybe I watch too much TV, but you don't have to know your stalker. Just be in possession of something they want. Life, children, partner. That makes sense. I think that is true. That is true. You do not have to know your stalker. But people assume that she did have a stalker, that Kaylee had a stalker. And was it Bryan Kohberger? I don't know, but thank you so much for the super chat. Cheryl Reed says that's done in South Carolina. We have a firing squad option. That I did not know that was an option. I really didn't. MG says firing squad used to be the method of choice, but I feel like they would think it's inhumane, and that's why they started with the injection. Am I imagining what a firing squad is correctly? Is it multiple guns or just one? Jazzy G says, oh, I can't even think of that. Jazzy G says, I did see the article that said there was a shortage, but firing squad sounds crazy. It does sound crazy to me too. Let It Be says, yes, heard of that. Okay. Hello Sonky says, just FYI for anyone, if you ever want to be safe and not misgender someone, they is typically a good choice, like when we don't know anyone else's gender, like someone left their bag. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Did not come to my mind, but thank you, Hella Swanky, for letting us know. Natalie H says firing squad was just signed by our governor here in Idaho. That sounds intense. Tanya D says firing squad just sounds so messy. It does. Let's see. MG says, how merciful is being stabbed to death? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If he did it, I guess it's not that bad, but just like reading through it was hard. Like if he stabbed those girls and that guy to death with blood, like the way they described the scene, it was everywhere. It was not merciful for them. You're right. And a lot of people that are on death row I think everyone on death row are for murders. And so if they murdered the people, which they have been convicted of murdering those people, I guess we can't show them that much mercy. But also people feel bad for people that are on solitary confinement as well. So I could see why you feel kind of sad for them, but everyone loses when you decide to murder someone, I think. As he says, maybe he'll try to make a deal to avoid the death penalty. Maybe you will. Let's see. Jazzy G says, I tend to lean against the death penalty, especially since innocent people are sometimes convicted. That is something that happens as well. I feel you on that. As he says, someone is bound to hit a vital organ, could be a quick death. I'm assuming it has to be to the head. I don't know. But you could survive gunshot wounds to the head. I've seen too many people try to commit suicide after they did something bad and they survived the gunshot wound they put to their own head. Chantel says there's either a shortage or some companies are refusing to supply lethal injection drugs. So states with the death penalty are having to be creative. Yeah, that's creative. All right. Thanks for the confirmation. Yeah, I'm going with him for that case with the mass shooting. Yeah, I think so. But they're the thing that's hard about that case. Well, I guess it's not hard, but the thing about that case is the media consistently uses the female gender name and refer to them as she and her. So that part's hard. Cynthia CM says it's weird. Why kind of drug or what kind of drug do they use for lethal injection? Is that super difficult to obtain? Yes, you cannot just sell lethal injection drugs. It's specifically, if I'm correct, for lethal injection. And you don't want just random people having that. MG says, firing squad, they line up 12 people with a rifle. One shooter gets a blank. So each person has the mindset that they shot the blank. You need a history lesson, young lady. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. I honestly did not know that was a thing. Okay, so what if you don't have the blank and you miss? So then the person has to line up again? I guess you would get the best shooters. I guess. Natalie, that's intense. So you're facing 12 barrels? Oh my gosh. Versus like laying on a table, getting a shot. But I guess when you get the shot, you just have to wait for your heart to stop. That doesn't sound fun. None of it sounds fun, but they probably shouldn't have been, convicted of murder. Yeah. Natalie H says firing squad does a straight shot to the heart. The lethal injection has a higher percentage of failure. This is stressing me out. Okay, let me get through these chats. This is stressing me out. Crystal Harris says that's a part of history left out our minds on purpose. I'm glad that was left out of my mind. Firing squad sounds wild in 2023. It does sound like something super old school, right? Amy Evans says this is why Emily, Rob, and Ian drink, I assume, hard topics. Zebra Z says, watch the movie The Executioner's Song about Gary Gilmore in Utah. I've seen, then it's always the same person. They have to do that every day. Or not every day, but constantly throughout the year. Hello Swaggy says, the problem is in the U.S. statistically, we have innocent people on death row and solitary confinement. That is true. That is true. And that's what makes me skeptical about these things, but I don't know. The people that are actually like clear weapon, clear motive, or not clear motive, clear weapon, clear case, yes. But circumstantial ones, those ones are a little harder for me. Cheryl Reed said there's a lot of innocent people on death row in America. I feel that. Hell Swinky says for that reason alone, I'll always be for the more humane option, even though I'm against the death penalty in general. Cheryl C says it is multiple and it is not one shot and done. It can also be a lot of deliberate non-lethal shots before a fatal one. That's what I imagine. It leaves too much room for vigilantism. I cannot say that word to save my life right now. Vigilantism. We're going to go with that for me to ever support it. Yeah, I don't think I'm feeling that. But like I said, if you stab somebody, you stab 4 people to death, like how humane can we really be? Hella Swanky says, yeah, but media constantly intentionally disrespects people too, daily, and not with queer/trans folks. I go based on how the individual's self-IDs, not even their parents, family, but them. Makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Kimmy Locker says, in some states, accomplices like getaway drivers can be sentenced to death as well. That's wrong. Well, I mean, if you knew you were a getaway driver, I don't know. If you knew you were a getaway driver, sure. But if you didn't know, that would be a little harder for me. Even if the murder or violence wasn't planned or expected. Felony murder, when you're doing something that is dangerous that can lead to murder, or any felony really is a dangerous act. So I understand why they have felony murder. But I've also seen with felony murder, like accomplices get worse sentence than the person that actually pulled the trigger, which sucks. The legal system is not, what would you call it? Flaw proof. It has flaws for sure. Crystal Harris says, if you have a joke, we'd love to hear it. Laughing is good for all. I can't even think of a joke right now, y'all. I was smiling the whole live stream and now I can't. Like, it's hard. Hello Snuggie says, oh, okay, so it's firing squad, not multiple shooters. Yeah, they did. They said it's multiple shooters. I'll have to look into it more because I've really never heard of this. But it sounds like it's multiple shooters and they could miss. Kimmy Locker says the shot is also believed or possibly proven to be incredibly painful. I could imagine, because are they just all expert shooters? I would imagine not. Hello Swinky says, oh, dang. Yeah, that's what I thought about. FS, that's too much in 2023. The firing squad, yeah. Tiny D says currently South Carolina, Mississippi, Utah, and Oklahoma allow firing squad, and apparently Idaho just signed it into law. Guy in my area spent over 15 years in prison and was innocent. His brother did it, not him. He's free now thanks to the Innocent Project. And the brother that did it deleted himself. Oh, I mean, not all. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that, but I'm happy that the innocent person got out. And it has been found that people on death row were actually innocent too late after they had already, met their sentence, even though they never did it. Cynthia CM says, I looked it up. It might be a mix of sedative drugs, which sounds kind of awful too, for the lethal injection. That makes sense. Okay, y'all. That was tough. I'm sorry to end on such a heavy note. I probably should have looked more into the article before I pulled it up, but I thought it was an interesting take. Did not know it was going to make us feel the feels, but it did. Thank you guys for making it through almost 2.5 hours of live streaming with me. We are all caught up with the timeline. Like I said, there are some different things mixed in that were missed in this live stream, and I'm hoping that we can go through it a little bit deeper. What was the trash he was putting in his Ziploc baggies? Why was he at their house? Was he going to eat at that restaurant because he knew them and he liked them? Like, what really was going on? Were those 4 targeted, or did he not know there was 2 other people in the house? Like, what do you guys think? It seemed like the downstairs roommates really hung out with each other and the upstairs roommates hung out with the other each others. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. For those of you that joined me live in the chat, thank you so much. I got a lot of insight from you guys. I think we'll go through the actual a search warrant, see who else they have summoned. Google, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, dating sites. Let's check it out. But we'll definitely take a deeper look into this case. This is a trial that I do want to cover. It seems like you guys are interested in it. So, with that being said, I think there's a lot of evidence against him. I would love to hear what his defense is. And I would love to see if he's going to push this to trial, or is he going to let it go? But he's already in solitary confinement. Who wants to be like that for the rest of their life? So I can only assume that he's going to try to go to trial just to get out of that solitary confinement, because it's still going to be a high profile case even if he pleads guilty, right? So that is all for the live stream today. Thank you guys so much for watching live. I will see you on Tuesday. For those of you that are in the membership for the Bree Hive, I will be posting this weekend asking you which day you would like to do the member stream. Remember, the member stream allows members of the channel to come on live stream with me to give their verbal opinions. I know we do a lot of opinions in the chat, but it's so much more fun when you come on live and chat in real time. So I would love to see you guys here. For members, make sure you're keeping an eye on that member community tab. And I will see everyone else on the next live.